I live in the part of Sweden which has the most ancient remains. It's from the Iron Age and the Bronze Age, and it's medieval stuff, Viking stuff, all those fun, cool things. And pretty near my home, I have a series of interesting, grave mounds or other remains, sometimes a little bit unidentified, and I will show them to you now. The first one is actually on the yard of the house where I live. It's pretty discreet, and I discovered it pretty recently, and I will show you now. It was by accident I discovered that we actually have some kind of mound, quite small, on the grounds where we're living. This one is not that big. It's a couple of meters wide, and pretty close. They also found some remains like pottery and bones, like some kind of settlement. So maybe this was a place for worship, or it was some kind of burial mound belonging to the people who once lived here 3,000-4,000 years ago. It's quite discreet, as you can see. It's not super big, but if you know it's there, you'll see it. It has this circle formation of smaller rocks, which is still quite big, and one big kind of head rock at the end of it. So it's a quite powerful construction. I guess the big rock was there from the beginning, and they dragged the smaller rocks to kind of expand this holy place. Anyway, I think it's really cool that it's here, and I always show this to people when they come and visit. That's quite cool, isn't it? Yeah, I really, truly think it's cool. I think it's magical to have something like this, just 30 meters from where I live. Now I'm going to go to another place. It's another hill, because we're on a hill now. And Märsta consists of several hills. It's like 4 or 5 really big hills. And this is one of the smaller, but we live on top of it. And the next one is slightly bigger and has some kind of interesting structure on it. So let's see what I can find. It's been a couple of hours with rain now, so it's nice to see some sun is coming up. Oh, it's hares. Look at them. We have so much hares here. They're very big also. So let's see if I can get any closer. Exciting with some wild beasts. You can see they're hiding in the bushes now. So, but I leave them alone and go to the next stop, the next exciting grave mound. It's rarely I film, in the centrum of Märsta. It's mostly because I like to film in peace without people or traffic around. Filming for me is something very meditative. It's like I mentioned before, it's part of my transcendental walking. I don't like to interfere with people, and I don't want people to interfere with what I'm doing. Anyway, now we're getting very close to our next stop, and it's a very special deer spot for me, and I will tell you why in just a second. Here it is, I would call it the entrance to the next location. It's this fine pine tree. It's like a portal, if you want to talk more about magic or psychogeography or transcendental walking. This is often also my second part of my walk if I want to do a shorter walk around my neighborhood. So let's take a look at what's up here and why I like it so much. If it's true that Märsta is built upon like 4 or 5 big hills, I don't know, because it's a quite hilly area. This one, though, I can imagine was one of the more magnificent spots during the Iron Age or Bronze Age. I would guess this spot is from the Bronze Age because it's similar to other structures here in the neighborhood. I would say the main part of this hill is this amazing, what's left of it at least, mound. I would say it's a grave mound, some kind of memorial mound for someone very, very powerful. And it's, the spot it is, it's like, you know, you can look out all over Märsta from it. And I can imagine that this was a very powerful, rich person once upon a time. Just look at it, you know. I'm standing on the top of this pile of rocks, this mound, whatever it is, grave mound or memorial, or maybe even remains of some kind of structure, some kind of fortress, medieval fortress. No, this is Bronze Age or Iron Age, and you can look, you know, down below here it was water 3,000-4,000 years ago, so this would look out over boats, maybe some kind of a river, maybe it was connected to Östersjön, the main sea we have here outside Stockholm. It must have been a very powerful site, and I can't imagine why they put such a place like this exactly on this spot. This is one of my favorite places in Märsta. It's quite crowded. There's usually, you have a school down there and you have people playing, and in the winter they're going with, you know, going downhill on the snow, and it's beautiful and fun. But it also has a lot of peace. Sometimes I just sit here and I just chill out on a nice day. Actually, the same day I came home from South Africa, where I was working for 2 months during 2019, I went to this hill and I sat down and just inhaled the Swedish summer air, because it was such an amazing summer day the day I came home. It gives me a lot of peace. But my favorite part of this hill is actually over here, and I will go and show you why, because there's what I would say a quite mysterious spot here. So come on, let's check it out. Here behind the grass and by a big nice birch tree, you'll find something that I've been thinking about a lot. It's the remains of a structure. Feels like it's, you know, just by looking at it, it's like 4 pillars, 4 corners. For me, it gives some kind of temple worship vibe, but you know, that's my romantic thinking, because I want everything to be some kind of mystery, some kind of esoteric occult, some kind of spiritual. Probably it was a house, some kind of, maybe part of a fortress. But the thing is that the archaeologist doesn't know what it can be or what it had been once upon a time. They actually think it might be parts of a road, some kind of ancient road that went up this hill from, you know, one of these directions and ended here on the top, maybe to this amazing grey mound behind me. This is also beautiful. It's a peaceful place. Sometimes I sit down on one of the rocks and just listen to a podcast or music, or just read a book, and you know, I don't like using the word blessed, but I feel blessed living here. So it's cool, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the last stop, and I hope you like it, because it's it's yet another one of my favorite spots. This is 3 favorite spots I have here in Märsta, so come on. Here's actually another structure. Maybe it belongs to what this structure we just looked at, this old house or road. Maybe this is a part of it. Maybe this is also like the edge of a big fortress. No one knows really, actually, but that also makes it cool, makes a big mystery. Okay, well, let's move on. Oh, I walked over this field so many times over the years. It's a magnificent sky meeting me, and it's perfect for the last stop of my little guided tour of the grave mounds of Märsta. I'm getting closer to the hill that you find behind the Norrbackaskolan, the Norrbacka school. Doesn't look like much actually, but when you enter it you find a couple of absolutely really cool things, including one of my favorite grave mounds. I'm not sure how visible it is now when it's so green and so much vegetation, but we'll see. When you enter this area, you're struck by the silence, by the history, you know, coming against you or with you, depending how you see it. The thing is that this whole hill is a grave field, probably from the Bronze Age. There's around 50 grave mounds, hills, call it what you want, pile of rocks around here, and at the top you'll find at least two very impressive, beautiful constructions. I love this place. Here on the left side of the hill you find, as most places on this hill, you find a lot of odd kind of geometrical shapes and structures. Some of these are probably from when cleaning up the field outside here. Maybe they had some kind of farming here once upon a time and they moved the rocks up here. But there is a feeling, because sometimes it feels very arranged. I mean, down here we have a quite odd shape. It's almost like an arrow, a big arrow. Let's take a closer look at it. I mean, maybe the most logical thing is that it's rocks and stone they removed from the field behind this hill, but it's big stones. It feels a lot like some kind of rock fence, stone fence. I don't know the English word for it. So it's kind of like a square. Actually, it has a very clear corner here to the right, and one might wonder what it was once upon a time. Is it part of something bigger, a fortress or a farm, or just a place of beauty? I have no idea, but I like it a lot. I could look at it forever. On my way to the other side, I found a pretty interesting rock, I would say. I never really noticed this before or seen it before. It looks like it's been sliced in half, you know, and it's not on the side, so the one part had fallen off. It's kind of laying on his back with a flat towards the top to upwards. Quite an oddity, actually. Could be some remains of maybe they tried to blow it apart, or even tried to make a rune stone from it or something. It's quite cool. Incredibly flat, actually. Super flat. It's like, could it be? No, I'm just kidding. There's no aliens involved here, but it's like something happened with it. Probably man-made. It's actually a beautiful stone, really. Very cool. I wonder what it is. Anyway, let's go. This is kind of, they have a picnic table here. It's kind of a place where teenagers go and do what teenagers do, I guess. But it's a cool place, and I love this big rock here. They've done some graffiti on it, which to be honest, I don't mind really. Graffiti is probably the oldest form of communication humans have, so, you know, what the fuck. It's a very impressive rock, but it's over there we have a real good old grave mound let's take a closer look. Anyway, on top of one of the 50 graves in this area, this is very visible. It's a quite big one actually. Maybe there were less trees here once upon a time, so you could see the water from here. I have no idea. What's interesting is that it's kind of dug up in the middle, which is quite common here. It could be treasure hunters, it could be archaeologists, old school archaeologists, you know, like 100, 200 years ago, who didn't really care so much about leaving the location intact. But I would say more that it's looters that try to find some Viking treasures, and I wonder if they found any. I don't know, actually. Maybe some old bronze stuff. It's a nice one. Anyway, let's move to the top. Okay, let's see what I can find. This place I kind of found by accident. There's no signs or anything telling people, tourists, natives that is here. Like most of these places, actually, you have to go and do your research. Pretty close to it. There's an interesting little detail. Let's take a look at that first. It's up here. Okay, I'm not saying it's man-made, but it is very geometrical. It's a straight line, it's a corner. I wonder what it is. I wonder if it's been like the base of a building, or if they kind of took rocks from here to, you know, to build houses or rune stones, or if there was some kind of storage facility here. I have no idea, but I'm very fascinated because it's so straight, especially the corner. They say there's no straight lines in nature. I don't know about that, but maybe that's so. And here's clearly two straight lines and a very, very clear corner. Okay, this place I found a number of years ago, and I was out walking together with my husband, and suddenly I saw this formation in the vegetation, and I was like, fuck, this is something. And I was like, my first thought was like, it's a temple, it's like a Mayan temple, Aztec stuff, human sacrifice. I don't know, but of course it's not. It's actually two big, cool grave mounds. I would guess Bronze Age, without being an expert of any kind. I'm actually standing in between them, so it must be a very, very powerful, mighty man. Probably a man, maybe a woman too, but my guess is a man on top here, or a whole family. I have no idea. I'm not a historian. I just love this kind of stuff. So this is also, you can find holes dug in the middle, probably treasure hunters or you know, ancient archaeologists, or ancient aliens though. It's a very cool place, and it's so hidden up here on the top. You know, if you don't look up, it's just a couple of stones, but if you look carefully, you can see it's two carefully constructed stone circles. Yeah, that was my little guided tour of 3 archaeological places here in Märsta, north of Stockholm. I hope you liked it, because I did, and maybe probably I will do another video showing some other places sooner or later. But this is it for this time. You know, keep enjoying life, keep appreciating nature, and well, see you soon again.